All rise.
This is Deeper Than Money. Talk to me. I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchet is compelling.
If he is not going to honor you, he needs to be gone.
Compassionate.
I don't want you to give up on your dreams. I don't. And I want to figure out how we get this straight.
She's powerful.
If I were in this situation, I would have put you out too.
And she's on the bench.
I feel like I'm being judged here.
That's what I do.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchet. Clarissa Knowles is suing Stacy Waters in the amount of $900. Ms. Knowles claims she sprained her ankle during a Wi-Fi dispute with her ex-roommate and says Ms. Waters needs to pay her medical bill. The defendant is countersuing for $800.
All right, I understand that you are suing your former roommate and that you have a countersuit against the plaintiff. Yours is for $900, yours is for $800. I'm going to let you begin by telling me what happened.
Hi, Your Honor. Yes, so my name is Clarissa Knowles, and I met the defendant, Stacy, online when I posted an ad looking for a new roommate. And I stated in the ad that I was looking for someone, a woman preferably, and someone that was comfortable with me coming home late at night because I'm a bartender, and I just wanted to make sure that they were comfortable with that. Stacy responded. She said that she was comfortable. We moved in together, and for the first 6 months, everything was fine. No major disagreements.
Okay, so stop right there.
Yes.
So that's how you all connected. And did she explain the fact that she would come in late hours?
It just said in the ad online that it would just be late. Yeah, she'd be come home late for work.
And you didn't have a
it.
problem with that?
No, Your Honor.
For the first 6 months, she said that things were fine.
Yes, Your
So,
Honor.
all right? But then we get to some place that things stop being fine. Do you want to tell me what happened from your perspective? And then I want to hear from you.
Yes, so things started getting a little weird when I started bringing some guy friends over. And particularly one friend named Lance, I would bring him over quite often. He was one of the regulars at my bar. And at the time, he was going through a breakup. And so we just kind of became close and would give each other like relationship advice. And it seemed as though Stacy, I guess, had a crush or something because...
I did not have a crush.
Okay, well, something happened because,
So she said she didn't have a crush. Were you romantically involved with Lance?
No.
He was your friend?
Just a friend, yes.
You weren't interested in him? Didn't have a crush on him?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So why would she think that things were getting weird? From your perspective, did things start changing?
And boom, this is where the harmony hits a wall. Stacy starts bringing up basic roommate grievances. Unwashed dishes, trash not taken out, and then the big one parties that go till 4 a.m. now, Clarissa downplays it. But even 2 or 3 people drinking and being loud in a small apartment is a lot, especially when one roommate's clock-out time is the other's wake-up call. And let's be real, inviting someone to join your party at 3 a.m. isn't the same as respecting their space. Judge Hatchet is locked in here. Watch how she draws a clean legal line between being a night owl and being disruptive.
Once Lance was coming over a lot?
Well, Your Honor, just to go back a bit, the first 6 months, we did have a conversation initially about her not taking out the trash, not doing the dishes, and me just basically have to clean up after her. So that was the first issue. And then she did...
And that's a big issue for roommates.
Yes. And then 6 months into our lease, she decided that she would bring a group of guys over and they would stay until 4 in the morning. That is the biggest problem for me. And I have to be at work at 8 a.m. Exactly. Be up at 6 to leave at 7 to be at work at 8.
Oh my goodness. And people were staying in the apartment until 4 o'clock?
Drinking, being loud. I even texted her and asked her if they could keep it down. Nothing. It just continued.
Are people in the apartment until 4 o'clock in the morning making lots of noise?
No, Your Honor, no. It was rarely until 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, you say rarely, but were people in the apartment late at night?
I mean, yes, sometimes there were friends late at night in the apartment, but again, this was something that I made very clear to her in the beginning.
Wait a minute. No. Your testimony was that you made it very clear to her that you were coming in late because of your work schedule. That's a big difference from saying I'm coming in late and bringing in a lot of people who are making noise. It's a huge difference.
Your Honor,
It's a huge difference.
it wasn't a lot of people, Your Honor.
So how many people were we talking about?
Maybe like 2 or 3 friends.
That's a lot of people.
It was
at
5. It was not
5, Your
5.
Honor.
5 people. I don't care if it was 2. I don't care if it was 10. If people are in the apartment making noise,
I mean, we would invite her, you know.
but she's got to go to work. You're getting off of work. I want you to listen to yourself.
I'm remembering now, there were times where people did come over until 4, but those were the weekends because the bar is open until 2, but only on the weekends. So therefore, she didn't have to go to work any time that there were people over like that late.
Your Honor, she had people over during the week, and it was late until 4 a.m.
All right, so that was the first part of the strain.
Yes.
Did you all talk about this?
Yes.
And what did you say? What happened? Talk to me. What happened?
Well, I let her know I didn't want to go out into the crowd initially. I just would send her like a message or so.
Very passive-aggressive texts.
But I would still ask her to keep it down.
Well, first of all, if you're in your room sleeping in your pajamas and she has company, I wouldn't necessarily go out in the living room area either, right?
Right.
I would probably send a text.
Right.
So you think that the fact that she didn't come out in the middle of you entertaining people was passive aggressive?
It would just be the things that she would say in the text.
Like?
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchet.
She would always be in her room, but when Lance came over, she would come out like in little booty shorts, lingerie, barely wearing any clothes.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchet. The Verdict with Judge Hatchet is back with the case of Clarissa Knowles, who is suing Stacy Waters for personal injury.
Like, you know, if only I didn't have to get up so early, like I would come and hang out, or like, oh, you guys, like, I don't know, just not really directly saying anything, like, oh, could you keep it down? Like, she never would say things like that. It would always just be kind of beating around the bush.
Did you just say, listen, did you say, look, this is tough for me, I've got to go to work, I need this not to happen?
I did say that to her. And she still just kept going on.
So now, this is the first 6 months, but then something else happened that you're saying then caused things to really go off the rail. What happened?
So my friend Lance that I mentioned, the reason why I thought that she had a crush on him was because, again, she would always be in her room, but when Lance came over, she would come out like in little booty shorts, lingerie, barely wearing any clothes. And I'm like, I know this is your apartment as well, but like there's company over, like maybe you could put some clothes on, you know? But clearly she was trying to show a little something. So
What's going on?
Your Honor, I came out of the room once and didn't even know Lance was there at the time. I was going to get water. And why would I get fully dressed into pants and a shirt to go get water in my apartment at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem
But
with
you're
that.
sleeping by
but you're
yourself in
saying
lingerie?
that she's saying
Yes.
that you would do it when he came, that you would come out.
No, Your Honor. It was the night that I came and got water, the one time. And then Lance asked me to join them. And I said, sure, why not? And I think it was a Friday night. And I said, I don't have to work on Saturday. Sure.
This is the twist that deserves its own headline. The Wi-Fi was shut off. Not because of a billing issue. Not even because of technical problems. But because Clarissa wanted to switch providers for a holiday deal and didn't want to pay 2 bills. Here's the legal wrinkle: Stacy was also paying half, and she wasn't even told. That's a breach of shared financial responsibility. And more importantly, a massive blow to trust. Cutting off the internet in a streaming-dependent world is like cutting off someone's oxygen, especially if their new friend is always online in the other room.
So when did things go all bad between the two of you and that you all are in my courtroom suing each other?
Well, Your Honor, Lance and I got really close, had great conversations. We connected over some of the shows we watched, and we kept talking and hanging out after that.
So are you sure you didn't have a crush on Lance before then?
I promise you I didn't have a crush. He's a handsome man, but I didn't have a crush.
All right, all right.
I'm too grown for that. Like somebody is just going to be that, not a whole crush.
All right, so are you upset that she and Lance then developed this relationship?
I wasn't upset. I mean, yes, I was a little bit annoyed at the time.
Why? Why were you annoyed?
Because Lance and I were pretty close, and he also was one of my regulars at the bar. And once they started hanging out, I basically never saw him anymore. He stopped coming to the bar, and he was one of my highest paying customers. So,
were you jealous of the relationship?
no, I wouldn't say I was jealous. It was a bit confusing to me because they also started just like hanging out in their room together, like in her room. It was just like...
And you sure you weren't interested in Lance, and you sure you weren't jealous of the fact that they had started this relationship?
No, Your Honor, no. I was more so maybe jealous of the fact that my roommate was getting stolen away, because when I asked them to like hang out, that time that I saw them in her room, I was like, oh, do you guys want to hang out in the common area? And she was just like, oh no, like we don't want to disturb you. We're just, streaming movies. So it just kind of felt like, I don't know, kind of rude to me.
So you became the third wheel.
Basically. And I'm like, this is my friend in the first place. But hey, I was like, whatever, she's a grown woman, like do your thing, And really, the beef came when like 10 months in or so, I saw that there was like a new internet provider that was gonna be offering like this holiday special. And the internet was in my name, so I just decided to discontinue our old provider, and so that I could sign up for the new provider when the holiday special started. And I come home and she just like gets all in my face and she's like, oh, what happened to the Wi-Fi? Why'd you cut off the internet? Oh, are you jealous because I'm here streaming movies with Lance? That's why you sabotaged us? And I'm like...
So why didn't you do it simultaneously so that you would have the old system cut off and the new system start immediately? If you wanted to take advantage of this special, why did you have to turn it off?
Well, because the way that I think there was like a grace period that I needed to have before I could cancel the previous one, and the special started like I had to sign up on a certain day, so it was basically like overlap, and I didn't want to have to pay 2 bills at once. So I was like, okay, we could just let it lapse for a short amount of time.
What's a short amount of time? How long?
It was like a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks.
Yeah, and
without internet or
she
Wi-Fi.
did ask me about it, and I was like, okay, well, why can't you just use your hotspot? That's what I was doing.
To watch movies, Your Honor? That's crazy. And I split the bill with her. It's in her name, but I split the bill with her.
Okay, so it's not like she's paying the whole bill. Did she talk to you before she made the decision to cut it off?
No, but I do have a notice here of a past due bill as well for the Wi-Fi.
I also have evidence here of our bill, and yeah.
Yeah, let's see those.
And Your Honor, just to go back a bit.
And now, what does this prove to me? Why am I seeing this?
Well, Your Honor, that bill is past due.
Right.
So she wasn't going to tell me that I was going to have a past due bill, or that the bill was going to be past due in general. So either way, I don't know if she just let the bill cut off because it was past due, or
But you were paying half of it, so you knew you paid half.
I gave her the money, Your Honor.
Oh. Did she give you the money to pay it? And you just let it go?
Coming up,
So she just kind of comes all fast and she's like yelling all this, and I'm just seeing her hands out towards me. So, in self-defense, I put my arms up and I just kind of like shoved her.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchet. The Verdict with Judge Hatchet is back with the case of Clarissa Knowles, who is suing Stacy Waters for personal injury.
No, Your Honor, that's not how it went. First of all, the bill is in my name, so she would not be penalized for anything, even if it was a late bill. And that money that she gave me was going towards the next provider that I was signing up for.
Oh, this is sounding shakier by the minute. All right, so then something happens that you all get into an altercation.
Yes.
What happened?
Your Honor, I noticed one day when I was in my room, I was about to watch TV, and I got a little notification saying the Wi-Fi was out, or try again. And I go out, and I'm like, okay, I know I gave her money for the Wi-Fi bill. And I go to her, and I say, hey, did you not pay the bill? I gave you money for it. And then she just was defensive and just going off and saying all kind of mean things about me just hanging out with Lance. And I'm like, okay,
Now we enter dangerous territory. Physical confrontation. Clarissa says she raised her hands in self-defense and accidentally sprained her ankle in the scuffle. But the key legal principle here is proportional response. If you feel threatened, you're allowed to protect yourself, but shoving someone to the ground escalates the situation. And if injury results, you could be held liable even if you started it just to block. The court is watching body language, consistency, and motive. This isn't just about hurt feelings anymore. It's about bodily harm and dollars.
You know, we're women, we can handle this. And I go to like console her, like to kind of calm her down. I didn't even touch her, Your Honor.
All right, Clarissa, things got out of hand apparently that night because both of you are suing each other. Can you demonstrate to me what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm standing and she basically comes towards me with her arms like stretched out, like as though she's about to push me. So she just kind of comes all fast and she's like yelling all this. And I'm just seeing her hands out towards me. So, you know, in self-defense, I put my arms up and I just kind of like shoved her this way. And like we kind of started scuffling. And in the process, I sprained my ankle. And I have a photo here of my sprained ankle, and I have the hospital bill, the urgent care bill.
Thank you. Obviously, there are two sides to the story.
Coming up,
You and Lance still together?
We were never together.
You weren't?
No?
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
you're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchet. The Verdict with Judge Hatchet is back with the case of Clarissa Knowles, who is suing Stacy Waters for personal injury.
Stacy, come and tell me and demonstrate to me what happened, please.
Your Honor, I was in the middle of our conversation. She was very defensive and her voice was elevated, and I was just trying to console her because I felt like we didn't need to be arguing. So I walked up to her, hands here, to kind of console her, and then she breaks my arms away and she grabs me and throws me to the floor.
Wow.
And that's how I ended up
What
injuring
kind of
my
injuries
shoulder.
did you have?
To my left shoulder, I had a bruise, Your Honor.
Do you have medical bills?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she clearly just had a bruise. Like, I did not do all of that.
And so you ended up going to the urgent care, and that's the $800 that you all are.
Yes, Your Honor.
So what is happening now? What happened after this whole altercation? Did you move out?
Yes, Your Honor. I paid the last 2 months of rent, and I went to live with Lance momentarily for those last 2 months while I found another place, Your Honor.
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I didn't get to see Lance.
He's handsome.
You and Lance still together?
We were never together. We were never together.
You were never together?
No.
You weren't?
No.
Now hold on, Clarissa says she was never with Lance, but then admits she moved in with him for 2 months after the fight. Come on, that's a plot twist that doesn't need narration. But it does raise a question. If you're not involved romantically, why move in with him? Yes, he offered. But from a court perspective, this muddies your original claim of neutrality. And emotionally, it adds a whole new level of tension to Stacy's side of the story. Viewers, do you buy Clarissa's claim of innocence here?
That's
But when you moved out, you moved in with him.
Because he offered. I told him the situation, and he offered.
So you all were
it was-
just really streaming movies.
That's it.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
Judge Hatchet's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchet.
Oh my goodness, I just wish that you all had been able to work this out. Clarissa, I think that there was more going on your behalf regarding Lance. I understand he was a customer and he was a friend, but something about this just doesn't sit right. And it seems to me that you became jealous and it got to the point of being petty, right? Stacy seems far more credible in this situation. I'm not just convinced that they've been just streaming movies, but I mean, whatever. But something about this just doesn't sit right with me in terms of the way you handle this. I do think that you cut off the Wi-Fi just to be vindictive because they were back in the room looking at streaming or whatever they were doing. Do I think that this situation became such that it was both of you all were injured? Yes, I do. Am I going to award you the $900? No, because I think that you have created some mess that wasn't necessary in this situation. On the countersuit, I think you could have handled this well, too, but I do think that you are owed something on the damages as I'm looking at that. And so I'm going to award you $400 on your countersuit. I am dismissing Clarissa's primary suit of $900. That is the order of the court. We will stand adjourned.
All rise.
Judge Hatchet has ruled in favor of the defendant.
This final moment is unexpectedly tender. Clarissa and Stacy both admit it never should have come to this. And honestly, they're right. This whole case was a slow motion, crash avoidable, with a real conversation, a little empathy, and maybe a written roommate agreement. But when emotions take the wheel, even Wi-Fi becomes a weapon. Let this be a lesson for every renter out there. Put your agreements in writing, know your boundaries, and never underestimate the damage of unresolved resentment. What you just witnessed was more than a roommate fallout. It was a deep dive into miscommunication, its unspoken tension, and how pride and pettiness can cost you in court. Judge Hatchet saw through the distractions and ruled on credibility, not just claims. Clarissa's jealousy, masked as financial concern, backfired. And while Stacy walked away with some compensation, both parties paid a price in dignity, friendship, and trust. Cases like this remind us that the courtroom isn't just about laws. It's about choices, consequences, and character. So let me ask you, who do you think was really in the wrong here? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. And don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns every week. We'll see you in the next one.